Packers and Raiders, gridiron desire.
Wait.
Fantasy stats, debates that ignite. No debate sports, we talk all night. Triggs throwing shade, arguments ignite. Metrics crunching numbers, playing it right. Raiders in the black, metrics repping the shield. Triggs yells, Green Bay, he's head revealed. Fantasy drafts, stacking the racks. Metrics got charts, Triggs talk smack. Who's MVP? Who's the real GOAT? Triggs says something about wrestling, Metrics takes notes. No debate sports, we bring in your facts. Metrics and Triggs got the sports rolling whack. Stats, numbers, video games, the belt buckles, and however you hack. Oh, fantasy football drafts, we got your back.
Boom.
Triggs talking Jordan, Triggs got stats. LeBron's the king, Metrics fires back.
Kill that.
No,
Boom.
boom. Here we are. We are back. We got a little intro music going. I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy.
Sort of. DJ Triggs.
Hey, but he's here. He's trooping through. He's fighting Mother Nature and allergies. And yeah, we're rocking it, Triggs.
Yeah. We did like fantasy stuff the other day. Almost exactly like we say we do sometimes.
Absolutely. And it feels like today's Black Monday. There's a lot of guys getting cut, but guy definitely not getting cut today is you, DJ Triggs. Definitely trooping through this. So there we go.
I mean, I almost got cut. Like I almost cut my own nose off. Let's put it that way. This nose was getting on my nerves.
Oh, worst case scenario, we'll put you on the practice squad.
Hey, all right. I'm not against that. That's a solid compromise.
Right. You could be claimed by any other of the 31 franchises at any moment in time, but you're always welcome here.
No, well, that's good to know. I mean, even though my eyes are like super puffy and like they're watering a lot, we're there.
It happens. But I tell you what, there is a lot of crazy stuff happening, even in the half hour to hour before we've just gone on the show. Amari Cooper is back to being a Raider. Jacoby Myers wants to get traded, and Kenny Pickett is all of a sudden a Raider. Wait,
what? Oh, I didn't hear that one. Kenny Pickett is a Raider?
Yes, this literally all happened within about the last half hour. So yeah, Pickett is a Raider. We dealt a late round draft pick. Amari Cooper is back with us, and I believe Jacoby Myers will be on the way out for future draft compensation.
Oh, maybe I did know that. Wink, wink.
Oh, wink, wink.
Did you notice I picked up Trey Tucker?
Trey Tucker is solid, but I would think that, that's the thing is like if we run 11 personnel, then Trey Tucker is going to be out there for that. If we run 12 personnel, I don't know if he's necessarily going to be on the field because it's going to be probably Amari Cooper, and then it's going to be that fourth round draft pick out of Tennessee, barring a Jacoby Myers trade. That's what I see.
Hey, at least Trey Tucker gets some. He's the number 2 for sure. Wherever he's spotted in it.
Yeah, he's a total speed threat, and there's definitely synergy between him and Geno Smith, so it works.
Full transparency, someone here also picked up Jacoby Myers in the draft late. That may have been me.
That may have been you. At this point, it's starting to look like a little bit of debate. But I say at this point, you just let everything transpire. There's no fantasy football games this week. So see what happens come tomorrow. And maybe he's on a different team in a different situation.
Hey, maybe he's on like a stud team where he turns out to be the number 1. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of guys on the move. I'd say a big one that just happened within the last day or so, Brian Robinson going to the San Francisco 49ers. That's a key addition. Yeah, I think that's a key addition there, especially for a team that you don't know how much of Christian McCaffrey you got. You're definitely going to have very little, I think, Isaac Guerrero. He came off a nasty ACL tear towards the end of that season. How ready he's going to be willing to go, I don't know. But you can tell that is a team that is hurting for running backs. So yeah, definitely got to be heads up on that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of people picking up some backups and what's the young man's name? Jeez. I think he goes by like Bill, but he has this extra long, like hyphenated name. And I'm like, why are people drafting this guy? But hey, I didn't see that coming. Someone must have been tipped off somewhere. And who knows? Austin Eckler might be like the greatest running back of all time now.
That's kind of what I was thinking was like, what if the world just totally forgot about Austin Eckler and he just goes on a tear, man? I mean, he's one of those guys that out of the backfield, he's just got that one juke and he is gone. He can really turn on. I know he's been in the league for a while, but man, he's an all-around back. He's a smaller back. He's hard to tackle, to be honest. But man, he's got wheels, man. If he does his thing, I think he's going to be pretty good, actually, especially with there not being Brian Robinson.
Right. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is what's his name. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Eckler had a decent season last year. I mean, he got 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and that's as a number 2. So, like, who knows? Maybe this guy he's ready to, carry the rock a little bit. Did a lot of pass catching last year. I mean, he almost had like 800 yards of total offense. So it's not a bad year for a guy like him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get what it is. Also, big news that dropped today, Terry McLaurin signed his deal. So he's back to playing. He'll be ready to go on that offense. Now, when it does come to real-life football and kind of how this placates into fantasy, I do think with this being the second year of Jaden Daniels and knowing how drastically different his stats are from Terry McLaurin to everyone else on the Washington football team, I think you're going to see defenses really, really hone in and double cover Terry McLaurin as much as they can. I think this is going to definitely have an impact on Jaden Daniels, and I would expect that when it comes to his throwing game, you're going to see probably a little bit of a regression on the throwing side of his stats. The run game, I think, will still be dynamic, still be wild. He's great when he's running outside the pocket and he does his thing. But when it comes to Terry, I think defenses have been spending that offseason and know how to play against that kind of maneuver with Terry McLaurin. I think Daniels will have to grow with other players. We know Deebo Samuel's there. We know Christian McCaffrey's brother plays on this team. I think, what was it? I saw Diami Brown, I'm pretty sure, got traded somewhere. Where did he go to? I want to say like Chicago or something. But I know he was actually a pretty good receiver in Washington, but he's elsewhere now. The Seattle Seahawks. That's where De'Ami Brown went. So yeah, he's there. But I don't know. I just think you're going to start to see a little bit of regression with Washington. I'd also be concerned too, because for me, for as long as I've seen their coach, Dan Quinn, for as long as he's been in the NFL, outside that Super Bowl season, that defense has always gotten worse. And I wonder too if that offense takes a step back. Now that defense is going to be on the field more. When they're on the field more, they're going to get more gassed, and that's going to make their defense look worse.
How do you feel about Deebo Samuel out there, like fantasy-wise?
Right. I think fantasy-wise, I think you're going to get maybe 3 to a handful of games that are actually going to be pretty impactful. Other than that, I feel like you're going to get some games that he's just going to really miss. I think you're going to get some games that are kind of just duds. I don't know. I mean, when I think of his impact on the field, kind of makes me think of like a Khalil Shakir kind of player. But is he going to be that relevant with Jaden Daniels? He might be. He really could be. And that's the thing with Deebo is if they're having issues in the run game, then he's going to be a part of that. So he'll have that impact running the ball. He'll have that impact catching the ball. I mean, I'll be honest, they're really thin at receiver outside Terry McLaurin. So, like, having a guy like Deebo who can do that and knowing they're kind of thin at running back does make it kind of interesting for a guy like Deebo. I just wonder, is he going to kind of have that health to make it through this season? I think he will. I mean, typically when you have a season where you're kind of banged up, you kind of typically do better the year after that. So it's doable. It's totally possible.
It's weird. Like, you look at their depth chart, and I mean, they have guys like Zach Ertz, forgotten guy, Debo Samuel, kind of forgotten after the injury, and then the trades, and then, the other McCaffrey, as you said, Luke McCaffrey, KJ Osborne's over there. You remember when Noah Brown was a big deal for like backup reasons? And it's just like, who else was going to be the guy if T-Mac was like, hey, I'm out of here. Someone else do something with me. But like you said, he did sign his deal. So, but it's kind of the same thing at running back. It's, Austin Eckler, like I said, Jacory, and then Jeremy McNichols, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yep.
The three over there. And it's like, do you trust any of those guys at running back, or does, the quarterback take more rushing touchdowns? Maybe that's where you add in more fantasy impact.
Yeah, and kind of thinking what happened today with Amari Cooper signing with the Raiders and kind of how this can impact Washington, and will it have an impact on Washington moving forward now, is Amari Cooper would have been a really good spot to go with Washington. But if he found his way back to the Raiders, could the Raiders now be figuring out how to get Jacoby Myers to go to Washington in exchange for draft compensation? Now, the downside there is you're looking at a team in Washington that's going to be, at worst, kind of middle of the road, to be honest, I think. So how that compensation fares is going to be kind of weird. But that might be a situation for a team that's looking to get better at wide receiver. What teams are looking to unload wide receivers? The Raiders with Jacoby Myers would definitely be one of those teams.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. Like, let's say the Chicago Bears by the deadline are just like, we're tired of this. Who was the guy they drafted? Luther something? Am I right?
Luther Burden?
Yeah. Like,
sure.
Do they move on from a DJ Moore because they have Rome Odunze?
Right.
Chris Godwin's down there in Tampa, and Mike Evans was talked about being moved during the offseason. So, like,
Keenan Allen's still available?
Yeah, like, there's a lot of little stuff where maybe a wide receiver becomes available at the deadline. You never know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think Washington, to be honest, they're gonna have to make something happen quick. I just feel that with the Terry McLaurin stuff going on and the fact that they're already thin at wide receiver, to be honest, kind of makes me a little concerned about what Washington is doing throwing the football. And knowing that this is a second year Jaden Daniels, where defenses have actual legit NFL tape on knowing what his tendencies are, I think those defenses are going to read him pretty good. I just feel like this is a year of major concern for Washington.
Right, I agree. I mean, they're looked at as the favorites now, but at the same time, the Giants could be really nice. Everyone knows Dallas could explode at any time, and obviously Philly's there.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think that division, you have to go Philly. You have a great offensive line. You have a great defensive line. And you have some strong weapons on offense. You have Saquon, which is the people's MVP. Jalen Hurts can do everything with his leg, and he can just chuck it deep downfield to either of his targets, whether it's A.J. Brown or what's his name on the outside opposite him. Devontae Smith. You still got Dallas Goedert in the slot. They've never really worked with a third receiver, but it's fine enough when you got amazing weapons and an amazing offensive line in front of you, and that's how they make it work.
Right. I mean, obviously the tush push is like the greatest play of all time.
Yep, they're playing with 9 yards every first down.
Except if you're a Packer fan. But, I digress.
Yeah. I mean, I got my own take on it, but Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. We got guys on the move, kind of getting ready to start the season. In the last week or so, we had some stuff happen, but we had our fantasy football draft, Triggs, and
Oh,
this is a 10-round, 24-team bonanza. And how do you feel about your team, Triggs? I gotta admit, I saw your team a while back, and I liked it.
I was looking through some of the other teams around, and obviously 24 teams. You're not going to get every single player that you were hoping for.
Right.
And sometimes guys are going to come off the board a little early, and you're just kind of looking, going, what the heck is wrong with these people? But
right.
I came in with a strategy of I wanted one of the top 4 quarterbacks. And I can't remember if it was round 2 or 3. They just started like flying off the board. And I was like, oh,
yes.
Okay. Jalen Hurts has fallen. I'll take Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
In the last couple of times that I picked him, he hasn't done me too bad. So I'm assuming he's going to get his short yardage touchdowns, and he's going to keep up with passing the ball. So it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Jalen Hurts is he always should have that ability to make it happen. The concern that I ran into a few years ago was that towards the end of the season, he wore down. Yeah. And that's basically the biggest thing that I would be concerned with fantasy is he going to make it through the season? But beyond that, I mean, if he's out there, he's going to get you some pretty big games, and that's what I was banking on 2 years ago, and it worked. I mean, you can just pull up his numbers from last season, and there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks where he is a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. That's pretty insane when it comes to fantasy.
He was top 8 overall. So I mean, and then the year before that, he was 2, and the year before that, he was 3. So,
yes.
I mean, even if I get a top 8 quarterback with 24 teams, that at least puts me in the upper echelon of quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a solid piece to have. The thing that you and I both agreed on is we both wanted to have a piece of the Chicago Bears offense. And we both got that in our fantasy draft. And I'll be honest, if I wasn't in the passing game, the other player I would want is the player that you got in DeAndre Swift, who is filling basically that Jahmyr Gibbs role from Detroit with Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, like I think he's going to be able to do more than what he has in the past.
Yep.
I mean, here they have him ranked as a top 20 back at 19, which – I'm totally fine with 19 because with that, I mean, again, 24 teams, that means I have a number 1 running back. Like
you do,
which is pretty tough when some people take 2 running backs. And then we talk about the next number 1 extra, like I'm not even going to say extra, but like he fell and I wasn't really sure why or how I got him at pick 11, but CeeDee Lamb fell to me. So I was like, well, I guess at 11, I mean, I'm not going to say no. I had literally no plan to pick a wide receiver in the first round. So, like, that threw my whole game plan off. I was going running back. Like, that's what I was thinking, running back. And I'm like, well, okay. I guess I'm taking CeeDee Lamb.
Ironically, I was going wide receiver with the one name that I wanted, and somehow that player ended up being auto-picked in some weird manner. And I spoke to my friend at work who was that guy. I ended up taking a running back that I had below that. But, I mean, I'll be honest, for me, the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy that I think is not what's his name with Cincinnati? Jamar Chase. Yes. Outside Jamar Chase, and to be honest, I might even still pull the trigger. I think Brian Thomas is the guy. I think that is the guy to have for fantasy football this year. I think Brian Thomas is just going to go insane. He has so much void to fill and volume and has no competition behind him. He has literally no running game whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, he has a quarterback that's going to chuck it. So I think this is the year where you can get where Brian Thomas, I think, should be the best wide receiver in all of fantasy football.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement with that. I think he's a top guy. But going back to the CeeDee Lamb thing and DeAndre Swift, like I have a top 10 wide receiver. He was 9, 1, and 6 over the last 3 years. So, I mean, if he's going to fall to 11, why not? And then to back him to get like on board with DeAndre Swift and Jalen Hurts in 2014 in a 24-team league. I mean, I'm literally guaranteeing myself 40 points, like out of the gate, with just those three on how our point situation works.
Right, and that's basically how I built it. I designed this in a way that defenses have the ability to score somewhat comparably to a quarterback. So back in the day, 2 years ago, when I was rocking Jalen Hurts, the Eagles defense, and on top of that, Travis Kelce, and for whatever reason, it was tough as nails to get any kind of good game production out of Joe Mixon. But I mean, Joe Mixon at that point was kind of just frosting on the cake. But Jalen Hurts, Travis Kelce, and the Eagles defense, for me, to be honest, rocked me like almost 50 to 60 points by themselves. So if you can get something crazy out of that between Jalen Hurts, CeeDee Lamb, and DeAndre Swift, you're going to build that thing comparable to what I did. You got the Steelers defense.
I do, which
I'm a little. But you can change out of it.
Yeah, and I think they're going to give me 10 points every week. I mean, playing the Jets, Seattle, New England, Minnesota, Cleveland, like right out of the gate, that's a pretty easy schedule to me.
Says you.
Yeah, I think so. And then later on, they play like Chicago, the Chargers, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Miami. I think all that's pretty easy too. So I don't know. If I have to switch in a defense at some point, I don't think they're going to have that much of an issue. And Baltimore at the end of the season might actually not play. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to say it right here. I
think the Steelers are a top 5 defense. So, like, as soon as I seen them, when defenses started falling off the board, I was like, oh, cool. My defense is still there.
Yeah, I'm going to say in probably about the first 5 weeks, your defense will not be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think I don't agree, but we'll see.
That's debate.
That is total debate. I mean, they were a number 3 defense last year, and
they also had a good football team on offense last year.
Not really. I mean, that offense was kind of shady. They were stuck. They were playing in games because of their defense.
That's true. But the thing is, too, as long as their offense was just kind of staying on the field, meticulously working their way downfield, they were able to keep that defense kind of at bay, stay at the sidelines, and then make their plays when they had to, so their offense could come back out. And even not even getting that great a play out of Russell Wilson, when, to be honest, they probably should have just been sticking with Justin Fields the entire time, they were still able to compete in those games. I feel now that their offense is drastically worse. And I feel that's where I'm concerned that defense is going to get gassed and put on that field way, way longer than they should be. And that's where things can start to fall out of control for defense, and even for me too. I mean, bringing in a guy like Jalen Ramsey, that guy's washed. I'm sorry. It's almost like every move that I feel Pittsburgh has made has strategically made that team significantly worse from last season, and I think we're going to see that somewhat show its eyes very early in the season. I even think too, like a team like Seattle, I think a lot of us are really starting to kind of pass on when Seattle actually is kind of building a really nice team. And I mean, if you're even letting go of a guy like Sam Howell, who's a solid quarterback, and who in a good spot for you for fantasy, should anything happen to Jalen Hurts, you can get Sam Howell like that, and that puts you in a really good spot too. So seeing guys like that kind of be on the move is interesting, and kind of tells me that a team like Seattle is actually going to be pretty interesting on offense.
I think Seattle's actually going to be pretty fine. I don't see them as like a bad team per se, especially if Darnold can play a little bit. Yeah, it sucks to lose DK Metcalf, but you know, the team that we're talking about, the Steelers, definitely got him. But
that's true.
So I was just looking back at their schedule last year. I mean, they only gave up more than 20 points twice in like the first 10 weeks. So if I could get that in the first 10 weeks, totally fine.
That's fair. It's fair. We'll see how this goes. I am in the.
You said I'm gonna get rid of them in the first 5 weeks. Like, no, never. I'll keep them on purpose now.
I'm willing to bet you a sandwich right here in the corner of the screen with my handshake being absurdly larger than the rest of my body that they're gone after 5 weeks from your football team.
What kind of sandwich are we talking about?
A sandwich of your choosing should you win the bet. A sandwich of my choosing should you lose the bet.
First 5 weeks, huh? All right, I am in. Here's
our shake. Shake through the matrix of the magic of the internets.
We have to put that somewhere. Someone's got to keep note of that.
Yeah, we'll put our best technical department people on that, and we will absolutely make this happen.
Now, the second part of my draft is where it got a little wonky, because then I started just throwing darts at the wall. Because, like I said, those first 3 guys are going to give me 50 points, right? Or 40 points, sorry. And then with the defense, we're up to like 55, 60. And most of the time, people are only scoring like 70, 80 points in this league. So, like, a high is 80, right? I projected week 1 for 78, which is cool. But so I looked at it. I said, you know what? I like Javonte Williams. Like, I know he came from Denver. He's probably going to be the number 1 in Dallas until literally someone takes it from him. I don't think any of these young guys are going to, start right out of the gate. I know he got a lot of reps during practice. I got Mason Taylor, the tight end from the Jets. I just assume, what's his name? Justin Fields likes to throw it to the tight ends. Cole Kmet used to be mine. 2 years ago, I made an entire video on tight ends, and Cole Kmet was my guy.
Absolutely.
So I'm just assuming that's probably going to work out for me. Like I said before, I got Jacoby Myers. I'm like, hey, the Raiders are going to throw it to someone. Geno Smith kind of does a pretty good job at throwing the ball around. History will tell you Jacoby Myers was a top 30 wide receiver for the last 2 years. Hey, guess what? In 24-team league, he is a number 1. Boom. I'm in.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, man, like I could really see him winding up on Washington, and that would be a great spot for a player like him. And even in fantasy, if you all of a sudden have a player that just winds up and happens to play football for the Washington Commanders, that's a good spot to be.
And who knows? Let's just say he stays on the Raiders. Maybe they give him some money and he's like T-Mac and he just stays there. I'm okay with that. He's going to get all the targets. Amari Cooper, there's a reason why nobody signed the guy for quite some time. He was coming off injuries, coming off bad seasons. He's just going to be there. Like I said before, I got Trey Tucker just a little bit ago. And then on top of that, I got my guy, just because I like saying his name, Chiga Konwu from Tennessee. I think he's going to be a stud. He's one of those guys that nobody really talks about. So,
and I'll tell you what, I would be very careful to which tight end you want to start. I mean, I would definitely kind of look into the linebacking core of Pittsburgh and look into the linebacking core of Denver. Plus, I mean, also a really young quarterback like Cam Ward in Tennessee. He's more than likely going to go to his tight end a little bit more often than Mason Taylor with Justin Fields. So I don't know. I mean, I would just kind of double check how you think that linebacker matchup is going to fare for Week 1 for your tight ends, because you have two nice tight ends. You just really got to play that matchup right.
Yep, I agree. I'm kind of just like, all right, we'll see what happens. When we get closer to the start. I do like Chig Akonwu though. He's my my undercover, like, ooh, this guy might pop off.
Yeah, he's solid, and I'll be honest, I really do like the move that you made for Mason Taylor. I mean, I saw him play at LSU. I saw the tight ends that were kind of coming into the league this year. Mason was one of those that I liked, and the fact too that he's the son of Jason Taylor. Jason's one of my favorite guys from being a Miami Dolphin back in the day. It's pretty cool that he's now in the NFL in his own right. So yeah, Mason's pretty cool.
Hey, and to get him in the 8th round when you're just throwing darts, like, whatever, yeah. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a solid way to go about it. So yeah, I like your team. I like the way it's built, and it looks like a very well balanced team that you can kind of get some flexibility out of, and you can kind of maneuver. Do you want to go 12 personnel or however you want to make it up? But having the engine being Jalen Hurts, CeeDee Lamb, and DeAndre Swift is a pretty solid engine to roll out with out of the gate.
What about yourself? Like, I saw you waited on quarterbacks, and you waited literally until almost the end of the draft.
I did
in round 9.
Yeah, so this was a strategy that I took out of your book last year, and knowing how you hit on what's his name, quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Yes.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is absolutely amazing. But the fact there too is you also took a quarterback that was a dual threat quarterback. So I think when you're really waiting on a quarterback deep in a draft, they really do need to be a dual threat, because they're going to kind of bring that upside that they might lack on the throwing end of them being a quarterback. So that was my theory going into this draft, was if I could land either a Drake May, Justin Fields, Bryce Young, or even a JJ McCarthy, who I know kind of has a little bit of wheels to him as well. Those were 4 quarterbacks that I was looking at towards the end of this draft. So in somehow, some way, if any combination of those 4 were just kind of remaining towards the end, then I wasn't going to draft a quarterback pretty much at all. And I got a little cold feet concerning a certain player in our division, or in my division, also was waiting on quarterback, maybe a little scared. But when I saw him go at various positions, I knew, okay, cool. Now I know I can go after one of the guys that was available. And for me, that was Bryce Young. That was a guy that I saw at the end of last year that I really liked his play. I like the confidence I saw in him. And he's a guy that going into this season, I feel like Carolina is loaded. I really do. When it comes to running back, when it comes to wide receiver, I don't really know too much about Tommy Tremble at tight end, but I've heard the name. It is what it is. But the thing, too, that tells me that I think this offense is going to be rolling is just kind of looking at the demeanor of Dave Canales. I know it's before the season started, but, man, there were so many weeks last year where I thought Dave Canales kind of looked like a zombie because he was almost awake for like 24 hours a day when he was doing his interviews talking about the team, because he had to figure out a way to make Bryce Young work. And by the end of last season, Bryce Young was cooking. So it's a lot of confidence that I got in how this team operates. This is a team that's got like probably at least good 4 wide receivers that kind of seem like they all have the ability to start. So I like Carolina. They're a very interesting team that if I'm unsure about who these weapons are on offense and who's going to get the ball in a given week, then how about go for the guy who actually throws the ball to all these weapons? So that's why I went with Bryce Young. He is the quarterback of my team, but I can fall out from him and I can move to another quarterback at any given week, considering I'm towards the bottom. So there's 8 other quarterbacks that are available, and I can make my movement after this if I see fit.
And
However,
our league, you can only have one quarterback.
you can only have one quarterback. So 24 teams, I set the limit that you can only have one quarterback, one defense, one kicker. That's it. Should a guy go on IR, that won't count against that, and you can get backups or whatever guy you got to get to fill that spot. So that's how that works. I thought the strategy you had last year on it was pretty top notch, so I took a page out of that book. So what I decided to do was basically build a solid team outside of that. And I wanted Brian Thomas. I really like the ability and the volume that he's going to bring into the season this year. But I decided when he was gone that my next top picks were basically both running backs. Obviously, me being a Raider, I'm going to have Josh Jacobs way up there.
Wait a minute. Pause.
Whoa.
Your second round pick was George Kittle.
No, but I'm talking about my first round pick.
I know. You said top 2 picks, and I said, wait a minute there, because George Kittle was second.
Oh, yeah. George Kittle was my second round pick, and I had full confidence from the get-go of how I was scheming up players that I was selecting that George Kittle would basically fall exactly into my lap in round 2. He did exactly just that. I definitely wanted to make sure I had one of the elite tight ends. I was actually going for Mark Andrews as well. That didn't happen, but I knew that I could get George Kittle first and then try to make a play for Mark Andrews after that. But George Kittle was right there, so I took him at 2 with my second round pick. But my first round pick was running back. I like Josh Jacobs a lot. He's an all-around super talented player, as well as the health factor. Jacobs is a guy that, to be honest, the worst injury he's basically had has been a sprained ankle. And there was even some talk, I think it was last season, where it was like a high ankle, the last season with him being a Raider, where it was a high ankle sprain, but it was us mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So we just chose to not put any tread on his tires. And should we have to do anything with him with roster position, we could move on from him and get some compensation. That didn't happen, but we just kind of put him off to the side. So I like Jacobs a lot. But the guy I liked even more is a younger guy who had very limited opportunities, but the opportunities he had, he knocked it out of the park. And for me, that's Bucky Irving. And I even liked him at Oregon. He was a guy that was super explosive out of Oregon. 2 years ago, I thought he was the best rookie running back coming into the draft. And that was correct. So Bucky's my guy. He is my workhorse. And now I've pretty much decided at this point, if I can't have Brian Thomas, I'm going to go after a top-end tight end, and then I'm going to run 2 running backs down everyone's throat every week. And I'm going to have another running back that's another strong, solid workhorse who should have top-notch ability, similar to what I project out of Bucky Irving. And that was my round – I'm going to say this is round 4 or round 3. I think it's round 4 pick out of Tyrone Tracy.
It was 3.
Round 3. So I decided to go running back, tight end, running back. Got Tyrone Tracy, another guy that has very little tread on his tires. I think he's only actually played running back for like 3 years. Crazy talented guy. So I like him. And then my 4th round pick was Rome Odunze. Again, taking a page out of kind of what you and I were thinking. We want to get some piece of that Chicago Bears offense, but I think you and I are also on the same page that we know DJ Moore is there. DJ Moore is good, but DJ Moore is now on a team where he might not be the number 1 guy. And considering how Caleb was kind of starting to favor even Keenan Allen over DJ Moore, and just the fact of how tight he is with Rome Odunze, Rome to me is a guy that I feel like I can do some damage with. So getting Caleb's number 1 target at wide receiver, that's what I wanted. So I decided to go Rome Odunze. I wanted I think at that point in time, I was thinking more along the lines of like a Xavier Worthy. I think Xavier Worthy is going to really, really do some damage down there in Kansas City, especially with the Rashi Rice suspension. But I couldn't get that, so I said, you know what, let's go Roma Dunze. So I did that there. And then rounding out the rest of my team, I decided to really stick to consistency. I wanted to make sure that I had that strong run game out of Tampa Bay and out of New York, two teams that I know are going to kind of dink and doink their way down the field and kind of keep working their way on each drive. So I got both of their backups and both of their handcuffs. I nailed shortly after Tyrone Tracy. I knew Cam Scadaboo was going to come off the board, so I had to make a play for Cam Scadaboo. He's a guy, he's probably one of my favorite college players ever. To this day, I'm still actually shocked that he is in the NFL. I thought he would have killed it had he stayed in college this season. But he's a pro, so I got him and Tyrone Tracy. And then later on, I got Rashad White. So I'm pretty sure he'll be the backup. Again, he's played the majority of the last season with Tampa, and not too much Bucky Irving. So I know that should anything happen to Bucky, Rashad White can kind of do it. And Rashad White's also a little beat up. So if he's a guy that were to wind up on IR, then I can throw him to an IR slot and acquire another player. A player, too, that I like, who I know is kind of beat up, but a team that can just run the ball. Jalen Wright just got basically sent to the PUP list or IR list, whatever it is. He is officially out for week 1. So if you're in a league and you need a running back, but you have an open IR slot, I think Jalen Wright is a heck of a pick. I love the way that guy plays. He was killer at Texas. You can basically just slide him to IR immediately, which is a technique that you created, DJ Triggs, and put him to IR. And if he's ready to go, you can put him in your lineup. If not, then you can cut him. So it's kind of cool there. But I want to make sure I had a real strong running back core. So I cared about that. And for a team like mine, if I feel like my running backs are dinking and doinking their way down the field, then I feel like that's good to get that kind of defense. So what kind of defense is one of those top defenses out there that does that kind of thing? I'll take the defense of my running backs, and I'll take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even in a division that's kind of wonky on offense. Again, I get 2 games against the Saints every year. So that's definitely a win going into this season. We start out with Atlanta, Houston, the Jets, week 4 against Philly. I got to think what I want to do about that matchup. But I get Seattle, San Francisco, week 6. I'm not too sure what we got there. At Detroit, that might be a game I might want to audible out of. It might actually happen at that point, considering then, although you do get New Orleans after that, then you get a bye week. So I might get in a mood at that point where I might flex out of them. But to start the season, Tampa Bay, I'm pretty happy with that. So got that, and then my other picks were kind of based on
pause. Yeah. Pause. So if my team doesn't make it out of week 5 for that sandwich deal, right?
The sandwich bet.
For those that were just tuning in, we did a virtual handshake that my Pittsburgh Steelers defense would make it past week 5 still on my team.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers have one of the softest second halves ever. Now, mind you, Carolina, Miami, Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, Arizona. I'm taking all of that.
Yep. So if I lose my Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, there's a definite chance your boy Triggs there is going to make a play for them come week 10.
Yeah. Yep. You heard it here.
Yeah. You heard it here. No doubt. That's no debate. Week 10, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be the most sought after fantasy defense possible. Even
with my allergies and my eyes being all watery, I can see that schedule's soft.
Yeah, and the thing is true. I mean, this is also second half. Come late, you do get Buffalo at Buffalo, That does
Yeah.
concern me. But what if should anything drastic happen to Josh Allen or James Cook and maybe Ray Davis? Like if they miss either part of that running game or the passing game, Buffalo could look drastically different at some point during the season. You got 11 weeks to hopefully that's it's not the case, but honestly, looking at that schedule, you're spot on. The only devastating offense that you're looking at is probably Buffalo. I mean, New England, they're a nice story, and it's nice to see them moving in the right direction, but they are not the same kind of team top to bottom that's as disciplined as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, the Rams are on there, but that's if Stafford's, upright. They got a lot of weapons, but who knows?
Right. I mean, they do have a lot of weapons, but even if it's not him, then it's more than likely Stetson Bennett. I mean, it's a pure unknown
Georgia,
at that point.
Georgia?
What?
Was he from Georgia?
Yes, he is. Stetson Bennett is out of Georgia. I believe he is at least a one-time national champion. I think he was on the first national champion team from Georgia, if I recall. So he is a pretty solid step in, should that be the case. And the Rams have not bailed on him. They have drafted him. They stuck by him. He's got some off-the-field stuff, but the times that I've seen Stetson Bennett play in the preseason, I didn't catch any preseason this year, but when I did last season, I really enjoyed watching the play that he played for the Rams. So he's a young guy. He's got some legit high caliber SEC experience. He's a guy that could absolutely fill in. But again, when the bright lights are on you, I don't know how that's really going to play into the NFL regular season. So we'll see about that. But Tampa Bay is a solid defense that I like. Any kind of team that that is going to have an offense that's going to dink and doink their way downfield, and that offense is going to stay on the field, that should match up well for that kind of defense, I feel. So that's my strategy I got there. My last two picks were kind of counter picks against the better teams from last season who are within my division. So the highest ranked team from last year, the guy who actually picked second overall in our entire draft, led off with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I have to play that team 3 times over the course of this season. That's pretty scary. That's some legit high octane firepower. And I've decided for the last few spots of my roster, I'm going to fight fire with that. If I can somewhat counter that with these two guys, that the rest of my lineup can kind of carry their weight and do their thing, I decided to go with the kicker of the Bengals, Evan McPherson. If there's any drive that comes up short, that guy's getting me 3 points. If there's any other kind of point scored, he's going to get me at least 1 point. And should that defensive Cincy not be that great, then they're going to be on the field quite a bit. That offense is going to be doing a lot of things. To me, I feel the 2 best fantasy kickers, because their teams are going to just have no defense, are Evan McPherson with the Bengals and I want to say Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, they just have no defenses. These offenses are high octane. They're going to be slinging the rock all over the place. The run games aren't that great either. So I think those 2 kickers are, I mean, I'll be honest, I got the kicker, I got the defense I wanted for this draft. Then my last pick of my entire draft, I felt if Jamar Chase isn't scoring the touchdowns, if T. Higgins ain't scoring the touchdowns, if Mike Gesicki isn't scoring it, then the guy who I enjoy watching, who's got some pretty good play, Andre Isavas. I was shocked that he was down in the 200s. There are games where he really, really looked good last season. So he's a guy I like, but it's also a position that if I got to change out of, then I'm able to flex out of that wide receiver position and go with somebody else. So yeah, there's a lot of guys on the move come today and tomorrow. But I do want to see how some of these rosters shake out, and I want to see kind of how my strategy plays out with some of the players I drafted before I start cutting them.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty studly. So I did draft another league And
Ooh,
before we get out of here, I'll
yeah,
throw some names at you and
sure.
see how you feel.
Hmm.
I think my team is actually up. Yes, because
Okay.
we did this live, so I had to make
Ooh,
sure. I
nice.
wonder if I can see my actual draft recap. I can. Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
Nice.
so uh by my team. All right. So I had pick number 7.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me make sure I'm right on the number of teams for it's a 12 teamer. So remember that when I say this, because the first pick again, how CD Lamb fell to 11 in our league like blew my mind. But okay, pick 7. I got Justin Jefferson.
Whoa. Whoa.
It's like,
Uh,
what is
that
going on
changes how
here?
I would do my entire draft at that point.
So, and I'll spit out the first 6 here. It was Saquon, Bijan, McCaffrey, which blew my mind,
Whoa.
Gibbs, Henry, and Chase.
Uh, yeah. So I would flat out. I mean, granted, I like. It's not totally crazy except for the Christian McCaffrey pick. You don't
Yeah.
know exactly what you're getting there.
Now, mind you, like I mean, if I count here, I think it was like 16 of the first 24 were running backs. Like it was pretty nuts. It was
Okay.
something like ridiculous. So now, mind you, so I got Justin Jefferson first. Now I'm coming back as 18th. I got Puka Nakua because he was just sitting there, and I'm like, well, all right, I guess I'm going 2 wide receivers, which I have never done before. So that kind of blew my mind. Um, and I'm
Right.
like, all right, well, now now my team's kind of set, kind of loaded. Now, mind you, let me break down the way the rosters work here. So it goes quarterback, running back, flex, wide receiver, flex, flex, flex,
Oh, geez.
defense, kicker. Because the first flex is running back, wide receiver, and the next 2 are wide receiver, tight end. So
Oh,
like
okay.
you
It's
don't
similar to
really need
our
a
league.
tight end. Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just when you hear that I got 2 wide receivers and the way it kind of pans out, you're not going, well, now you just got a bunch of bench dudes. No, it
Right.
makes sense in the end. So again, Puka Nakua. And again, the same way I thought about in our league, I'm like, hey, if round 3 or 4 comes up and one of those top 4 wide quarterbacks in my brain are still there for some reason. So at 31, I got Lamar Jackson because I was like, why not? If he's there, I might as well go for him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if I look back here, Josh Allen had come off, and
Lamar's better than him.
yeah, I agree. As soon as I seen Josh Allen go off in the second round, I said, well, all right, let's see exactly how this is going to shake out. And it was exactly like I thought, like Joe Burrow and Daniels and guys like that started flying. So,
Yep.
like, I was like, oh, all right, 31, I'm cool. So now I have Puka Nakua, Justin Jefferson, and Lamar Jackson. So when it came back around, I'm like, all right, let's see what running back I can get. I got DeAndre Swift again. So I was like, okay, perfect. Then I had the exact same thought process that you did. I got Roma Dunze. So, like, my wide receivers are stacked. Like,
Loaded.
if anything
Loaded.
happens.
I mean, I'll be honest too. Like in the back of my mind, I am thinking that by season's end, we could be seeing all of these second-year wide receivers that are like Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas. I think all 3 of them could be like top 5 wide receivers, or right in that range.
Now I'm glad you're saying things like that because now you're gonna start hearing how this goes. So as I got Roma Dunze, I started saying, you know what? I'm gonna start throwing some darts because I feel like my starting lineup is pretty stacked. Those three wide receivers, DeAndre Swift and Lamar Jackson, like I really can't miss at that point. So
do you have a running back yet?
DeAndre Swift.
Oh yeah, DeAndre Swift. My bad. Perfect.
So then I said, okay, I'm really far down here. I'm in round 6. I got Tony Pollard. I said, I've been reading a lot about Tennessee, and he really doesn't have any backups. I mean, Tajay Spears, but Tajay is more of a receiving threat than a running threat. And they've talked about giving him like a ridiculous workload. So I said, okay, I'm not against that. I mean, last year
I like them both. I really like both of these guys. I mean, Tajay, give him like legit opportunity. That kid can fly. I mean, the last play I saw of the Titans in the preseason, I saw Tajay Spears use like some end around route for like 10 yards. Like the kid can fly. So I think they're both solid, man. But Pollard will be the guy carrying the rock predominantly.
Right. He had 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. That's with no quarterback play, the box being stacked. Like he's pretty much 1,005. I'm okay with that. 1,300 yards.
They ripped the left tackle from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Tennessee Titans. So now your run blocking is going to get better as well.
Yep. Now I talked about throwing darts, right? So now we got I picked up Ricky Pearsall because I said, hey, the guy's probably going to be the number 1 for a while. So
I don't think that's a dart, man. I think he's just a flat out good player.
I do too. But you'll hear why it's a dart in a second when we get down to round 10. So round 8, I got Quinshon Judkins. I know he's got some legal troubles going on right now, but I think I could be wrong. I think he won't face any charges. So, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. But I think he's going to be the number 1 running back. I talked about him when he came out of college. I believe Ohio State. I think he's a stud.
Yeah, he played alongside Travion Henderson with New England.
And so if I get a number 1 running back out of that guy, and let's say I can move Tony Pollard or Swift or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I can make a trade somewhere down the line. I got another running back. Now, this one caught me completely off guard. I actually was not going to draft a tight end at all. Tyler Warren was still there in the 9th round.
Yes. I think he will be the one silver lining of that offense.
I do too.
Regardless of quarterback, they will hammer Tyler Warren as long as they can. To me, it's reminiscent of kind of how the Raiders were last season, where basically you kind of knew Brock Bowers was going to be the guy. Granted, Jacoby Myers solid, but the run game was atrocious. So basically, the only thing on offense was the tight end. Same thing here with Indianapolis. If Joe Flacco were still with the Colts, I think you could kind of change things up a little bit. But with Tyler Warren there, or without Joe Flacco, I think they're going to hammer Tyler Warren as much as they can while they're stacking the box against Jonathan Taylor.
And I at least know the ball is going to come out because Daniel Jones was named the starter. So the only thing I'm a little it's given me a little bit of up and down. So I'm excited because he had like 30. It was something ridiculous. Like when he was at Penn State, he had like 30% of the target share and over 1,000 yards. I want to say he had 100 catches too, but don't quote me on that. I know he had 1,000 yards in 16 games. So like the guy he can take that many shots at him. But the one thing I'm worried about is like maybe he had too much tire, tread coming off. So like I'm a little worried. But at least I know he can carry that workload and get a lot of catches.
Totally.
But in the 9th round, again, dart throw, wasn't going to pick a tight end. So now, pick 10, talking about Ricky Pearsall earlier, I got Brandon Ayuk. So I was like, whatever. I'm just going to put him on the IR and see what happens. When he comes back,
I love it.
I hope.
Yeah. And that was a thing, like for our league as well. I had that strategy in the back of my mind, but knowing what the cost was for Brandon Ayuk, I think in our league it would have been like round 4, and
Yeah.
I can't do that in a 24 team league.
No.
For you that was like what, a 10 team league?
12.
12 team league. Okay, half the size. So basically half the equity that would have been used in our league. So instead of being round 4 in our league, like you could have used what, round 8, round 10 in this
I got him in
case.
10. Yeah.
Exactly. So you were able to even save 2 rounds on him for the fact that people knew that he was hurt. And the
Yep.
fact that people don't really understand that strategy like you and I do, where you want to see some of these guys are on IR and you want to throw them on there immediately. So Brandon Ayuk would be one of those guys. If you're doing a draft in the next coming days or so, Jalen Wright is totally one of those guys too. You could probably get Jalen Wright undrafted completely, but make sure that you spend your final draft pick on Jalen Wright so you can throw him to IR, and then you can immediately start funneling other players onto your bench. I love the Ayuk strategy.
Yeah. So now this next part's gonna sound a little familiar. Don't hate me.
I'll only hate your Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I promise you that. That's the only thing I'm gonna hate.
So I got the exact same 2 running backs from our league. So I did get Javonte Williams in the 11th round, and then I never, ever, ever pick a backup quarterback, but people were just, starting to scoop up. Like one guy got like 3 quarterbacks that I was just like, well, whatever. So I got Justin Fields in the 12th.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Just in case Lamar's got some weeks here, and they have different bye weeks, so I can throw them in there. Cool. Then I got the Ravens defense because at that point I was like, I'm all right with my team.
Yeah.
You're going to hate pick 14. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers defense again.
Yes, I absolutely dislike that pick with all of my might and will. If there's one defense I hope absolutely goes up in flames, it is indeed that defense. So maybe the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals, because I absolutely dislike the way Kyler Murray plays quarterback. So I put them up there too.
I'm gonna have to keep them past round 5 or week 5, hopefully in 2 leagues. But I got Tyler Bass just because I think Buffalo's got a high-powered offense, and he's pretty solid. I know he was coming off a little bit of a dinged up like hip or something. And then I got go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing was that I was kind of kicking around, but I know you took significant pieces of it, but I don't know if it's that bad. Did you think about taking Justin Tucker's replacement for Baltimore?
I did. But then part of me was like,
too many Ravens?
I got a little worried. Huh?
Too many Ravens and concerned about a bye week, maybe?
No, I just was like, can they have 2 amazing kickers in a row? I was like, at least I know Tyler Bass is okay. Like, he misses a couple here and there, but he's going to put up good numbers. And, like, at least I know he's going to give me, a couple field goals a game and knock down a couple extra points. So if I can get 9 points out of the guy every week, I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like, looking at this in the future, I wouldn't even worry about the accuracy of the kicker until that kicker shows it to you that they got the yips and it ain't working.
Yeah.
If there's a kicker that is going to have significant opportunity, then you should be giving them a shot. I mean, I know Evan McPherson is a guy that kind of has some accuracy problems, but knowing what I know with that defense and kind of how explosive that offense is, I want Evan McPherson. So that's how I rolled, and I think you're doing the right thing with Tyler Bass. I think that Buffalo is going to have significant opportunity, and at times they won't score touchdowns, but they're more than likely going to be on the other side of the 50 and have a shot at kicking a field goal pretty much more often than not.
Yeah. And then so how much I dislike this team, so you could probably guess who it is, and I dislike their quarterback. But this guy was drafted in the second round. I can't remember what school he came from, actually. Oh, man.
I'm thinking, are you
It's going to
talking
be
like some? Is this an NFC North team?
no.
Oh,
No.
okay. I don't know.
It's an NFC West team that I dislike more than anything in fantasy football. But
is it more than the Raiders? Or, I mean, more than the Cardinals?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with the Cardinals. I'm sorry, it's an AFC West team. Sorry.
Oh,
AFC West team.
Oh, then, yeah it's got to be Justin Herbert.
Yep, there you go. So, thank you. I said you know what? My brain's just all over the place, but you knew exactly what I was talking about. So I got Trey Harris, second round pick, wide receiver for them. I literally cannot name. Yeah, for the Chargers. Yep.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who that is.
So here's the crazy part. I got him with the last pick, or my last pick of I wonder I can't remember what school he came from. Maybe I'll look it up because like it's gonna bother me. Okay. Ole Miss.
Ole
Miss. But like, dude's like, yeah, he's like 6'5" or something. Like, he's a ridiculous like size dude. And you know they like big dudes like Quentin Johnson and all that. But like the reason why I picked the guy up. So when I'm looking in my last round, and you're just kind of looking at dart throws as usual, but I go, wait a minute, I can't name another wide receiver besides Ladd McConkey. And then I saw that he was a second round pick. I go, yeah, I'm gonna go Trey Harris because who knows? Maybe this guy blows up. Justin Herbert likes to throw the ball around a lot. Their run game could be good, could not be good. I don't know. Something will happen. So I don't know. Who knows? But I do like the top end of my team. Like I think it'll be a solid performance throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, just putting this out there. I mean, it probably exists. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Is there like good tape of him online playing alongside Jackson Dart? Like, did Jackson Dart favor him? I don't know.
Let me wait a minute.
Because your reasoning is solid.
Let's see. Numbers wise, he could emerge as a top perimeter threat. Tall, fast, yada, yada, yada. Just telling me how many. Ah, man. I was hoping one of these breakdowns could give me some yards or something. Says he, in 3 years, he never went below 950 yards, and he got 25 touchdowns.
Yeah, and playing only roughly like 10 games in college, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And it says like he's going to fall no lower than third. So whatever. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be one of the top two guys outside because, you have Ladd McConkey in the slot. So by far, he is absolutely one of those two guys spread out. And Herbert can sling it. He will absolutely find guys outside.
Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking. So, like, I think my lineup's pretty solid with Jackson, Swift, Jefferson, Nakua, Dunze, Pearsall, Pollard, and then defense and kicker. So, I think I should be fine going up against most teams.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think you got a lot of guys there, and especially when it comes out to those wideouts, you got guys that are kind of feeding, kind of being able to be fed the ball and make that happen. So I like it.
Yeah. So anything else you want to get off your chest about randomness, or should we wrap it up?
I think we're going to wrap it up next week. And granted, I'm making some of these picks kind of right now as we speak. But next week, we will absolutely pick the teams we see winning each and every division. And this guy right here is putting some shekels on it, a little bit more than a sandwich.
This guy, wait. This guy over here definitely putting his money on the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the North.
I may have done that actually last season. There's
Oh.
no way I'm doing that this season.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
that's no debate. So, no, that's not even happening. Not even once. So so for that, I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy,
DJ Triggs.
and that's no debate.